We're here.
I wish I could give you this feeling. I wish I could give you this feeling. On the corner.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Corner Podcast. I'm Kel Dansby with the old man, Andreas Hill. We're rocking our hats today. It's a hat day.
Yeah, I was too lazy to shave.
Yeah, my exact reason. I did not feel like shaving my head. I was like, yo, it's a hat day. Repping my New York Football Giants because the draft is coming up.
Them socks, baby.
We might not see the Sox play again for like another 6 months.
I don't know what's going on.
No, stupid MLB is the worst. So we are back in the building. It was a great weekend, some fun combat sports. We'll get to touch on UFC 271, Israel Adesanya going against Whitaker for the second time. What was different? What was the same? What do we think going forward? Should there be a trilogy? We'll talk a little bit of boxing with Amir Khan, Kell Brook coming up overseas this weekend. Also, it was Valentine's Day. We'll see what Dre did for Valentine's Day, which is usually nothing because your birthday's the day before. So I got to see what the old man did for his birthday as well. So it was a busy weekend, not to mention the Super Bowl and how all that unfolded. And
Bengals cost me money.
why'd you bet on the Bengals?
Because the money line was 165, and I bet the over, so I did a round robin. I put a couple hundred down, and I thought I had it at one point. It looked good.
It looked good for a second.
OBJ went down, and I was like, all right, we all right. We in good shape. Then that offensive line just collapsed.
Well, the refs really cost you
Yeah. Well, the refs also helped the Bengals.
early.
'Cause,
Yeah.
Yo,
Jalen
Jalen Ramsey
got mugged.
my God.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the Super Bowl, we ain't got time to talk about all that because neither our teams were in it.
No.
But, shout out to the Rams. OBJ got his championship.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He can go dance somewhere.
Yeah. Now it's just, all I'm thinking about is we just got to pay Debo. That's all I'm worried about.
Oh, y'all got the dough. You're fine. Got to get rid of that quarterback.
Well,
Just
yeah.
start anew.
He's gone. He's already looking for a new home. He's out of here.
So, man, it was a busy weekend outside of that. Valentine's Day. What'd you do for your birthday? Let's start there.
Watch the Super Bowl.
That was it.
That was it.
No breakfast? No brunch?
No, I'm still not drinking.
Oh, so you can't have
yes.
brunch without drinking.
Brunch without liquor is just breakfast.
Okay.
What's the point? So, yeah, I got up. My daughter woke me up, told me happy birthday. The game was coming on. I placed a bet. I spent way too much time in the sports book trying to figure out what to bet. Lost. Who cares? Watched the game. I got an Oculus, so I played that after the game. I stayed up all night playing Oculus and video games. That was my birthday. It's not really exciting. I had like 2 cakes for no reason because all I do is waste cake because I don't eat cake a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you guys do the bunt cakes.
Nah, we did this place called Teaspoon. So I got a cheesecake and a pineapple something that my daughter wanted to get me. And then I had deep dish pizza. So I was like really full by the end of the night. And then Monday I was like sleep.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta, and the game comes on stupid late on the East Coast.
Yeah.
How you watching anything on the East Coast? I'm now spoiled by the West Coast. So the East Coast is the worst. The game didn't come on until 6:30. So I was like, I'm just killing time all day. Thankfully, I went out there for like a reason to visit my godfather. So I spent some time with him before the game, but still I was like, this is forever. And then the game finishes. I'm like, oh, it'd be great to go out, but now it's stupid late. And my flight was like at 6 a.m. the next morning to get back to Vegas. So I was like, kind of a waste of a Super Bowl weekend in terms of like traveling schedule.
Yeah.
But had a good time in Atlanta, always do. Saw family, all that good stuff. Got back, Valentine's Day. My wife despises Valentine's Day.
Okay, I need you to explain this.
Always has. There's no particular rhyme or reason behind it. She never wanted gifts, never celebrates. She really hates the waits and like how packed restaurants are on Valentine's Day. Because I'll be like, yo, we don't need to get a gift. Let's just go eat. But then she's like, oh my God, the reservations and then the wait. And then it takes so long to get your food out because it's packed. She hates Valentine's Day. Everything about it. So I was like, cool. She told me this morning, she was like, man, we didn't even post pictures of each other. I was like, you hate the holiday. I'm going to do fake the funk? Like, no. She was like, no, that's true. And I was like, we can like do the day after Valentine's Day. Like,
Yeah.
But that's usually like side chick day. So I don't know, like, if we can go out, like, people be looking at us funny. I I mean, the side chicks would definitely be upset because they'd be like, "You got a ring on? What you doing here tonight?"
Yeah.
So
It's like, well, what are you doing here tonight? Get a man.
Yeah, that's
Get your own man.
I was about to say they were like, "I got a man."
It ain't yours.
He's like, our man, like and then them and someone
sharing.
else's. Yeah,
Ugh.
it's a cold world for the side chicks, man. Cold world. And to everyone with second families out there, it's a lot of time juggling going on.
I have no idea about any of this stuff. It is way beyond my reach.
Listen, man, I come from a Puerto Rican family. Some people in past generations have dabbled in having second and third families. So whatever floats their boat, I've seen it all. What did you do for Valentine's Day since it was the day after your birthday?
Nothing. I did absolutely nothing. My wife went to work. I sent her, it's my first, because my wife usually works at home. Now she has a job as an attorney. She works in the law office. It's my first time. I was like, I'm going to send her flowers to the office.
What? Oh, you balling.
So usually I buy flowers, bring them home, buy, balloons and all that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, yes, a couple, $70, $80. I bought flowers and, cookies. It was like $180. And I was like, what the fuck did I just do? And my wife was like, this is great. And then they didn't deliver the cookies. So so I'm pissed now. I'm hot. I contacted Pro Flowers. Pro Flowers, you're in trouble. So I contacted Pro Flowers, like, yo, you didn't deliver my cookies. And they was like, oh, we can just refund those. I was like, no, I want everything back. They gave me everything. They refunded everything.
Oh, so it's free flowers.
Yeah, so then I bought myself some sneakers. Oh. I treated myself.
Of course you did.
I looked at my account, and they refunded all that money back. And then there was some Air Max 90s, and I was like, well, it's like a free pair of kicks, so I'm just going to buy them. Yep, so that's what I did.
Wife just none the wiser.
None the wiser. I'm going to take her to dinner, maybe tonight, tomorrow. And, the fact that she's pregnant, she really doesn't want to do anything. She just wants to come home and go to sleep. So it's like.
And y'all are on the back end of this.
Yeah, we're in the third trimester. We're in the final stretch, man. So, yeah, we did nothing. Like, she came home. We watched some TV. We watched a lot of Southside. We're catching up on Southside on HBO Max, which is incredible.
There's too much stuff to watch on TV.
Yeah, we watched Bel Air. We watched Southside.
I got to catch Bel Air.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I saw 15 minutes of the first episode. It looked really good. I was like, yo, it's going to get me, but it's a lot of a time commitment.
It's good. I'm going to watch it, right? The acting is good. The shot great. The soundtrack is great. But there's a few things I have a problem with, and it's Carlton's character. And I know some people love it because it's a very dark version of Carlton. But after in a couple of episodes, I'm like, this is a lot, right? This is a lot. And I was like, I hope there's more backstory to explain why he's this way, because it's not the Carlton you remember from the original Fresh Prince, which is fine, because I know this is a reimagination of Fresh Prince. But I was like, me and my wife looked at each other, and I was like, this is a lot.
It wears on you.
Yeah, it's it's a lot. It's like there's evil, and then there's this guy. Yeah. And it's like, this is Carlton. And then my wife can't get over his hairline, because his hairline starts in the middle of his head. So my wife was just like, I can't get over his hairline. And I was like, yeah, really bad.
To me, I was like, yo, this shit shot All American.
It is All American in Bel Air. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And here's the thing, I don't like All American. No? I don't like that show.
First season and a half, I was okay. Then it started getting really it got real Empire-ish.
Right.
After a season and a half, and I was like, yo, you've gone off the deep end.
So I watched a few episodes of All American, and I was like, it's really not for me. I moved on, right? My wife, she's a completionist. If she starts something, she's going to finish it, no matter how bad it is. She watched that show Queens, and she she was like, I walk in the room, I was like, why are you still watching? She was like, I have to finish it. She's frustrated that she has to finish these shows. So she got to the second season of All American. She was like, you should be happy you quit, because it's not good. It went off the rails.
Yeah.
Bel Air is very much like All American. That was, as soon as I'm watching it, my wife was like, this is like All American. I was like, I looked at her and I was like, I don't know if we'll make it through the first season if it gets any worse. She's like, nah, we'll see, because All American had a good premise and then just kind of flew off the rails. And I was like, all right. And Bel Air is
this supposed to be more than one season?
I don't know.
I thought it was a one and done.
I don't know. There's just a couple storylines that I'm just and then the whole Uncle Phil thing, it bothers me. Right?
Skinny Uncle Phil?
No, not that. It's the fact that he has this $25 million house, and he's running for DA, and DA's make no money, right? A DA really doesn't make any money. And my wife, she's an attorney. She tells me, she was like, no, because Uncle Phil in the original Fresh Prince, there's no way he could afford that house on his salary. There's no way.
Well, wasn't he a judge?
Yeah, judges make no money. Oh. They make good money, but in California to afford a house and have a butler, people talk about the Cosby Show is unrealistic. Fresh Prince is unrealistic. This fool had a butler. You look at this one, he's got like a $20 million house. He's got a backyard the size of like this casino. And I'm like, And he's like, I'm running for DA. And he was like, yo, I won a few cases. And I'm like, all right. But if you know what your practice, like even if you made like a cool, it's a $25 million house. Easy in Bel Air. And I'm like, that's just not realistic. And it drives me nuts because I'm watching the show and they're all driving like Lexuses. They get, there's Xanax flying around. The girls on Hillary's a social media maven. And I was like, it's different, but I have a problem with when people have unrealistic lives. Tyler Perry does it in his shows every time. Every person that works at a marketing agency in a Tyler Perry movie is the best marketing agent ever. And it's like, can't you just have a job? Do you have to be the best at everything?
No, I mean, that wouldn't be cool for television.
It is. Just have a job. Just work. Like,
you just want it to be Seinfeld. Like, you want to be like,
that's what makes Seinfeld great.
Normal people. Yeah.
But when I like normal people and normal shows, but it's like, as soon as I looked in the house of Fresh Prince and I was like, my wife is a realtor and she's a broker, and she was like, that house is like $25 million.
Everyone listening, again, Andreas' wife is like Superwoman.
She is. She's better than me.
So
y'all look at me and be like, man, Andreas is great. That's my wife.
She's done everything.
But she looks at that show and she's like, there's no way you could afford that house off of that seller. There's just no way. And like, we're both going, when are they going to reveal he's selling dope? Because it has to happen. There's just no way.
Came from Philly. He was a kingpin.
And then Jeffrey, he's like the house manager. He's not the butler. And he never does anything. He's playing pool. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. It's only 3 episodes so far. I'm going to get through it.
Jeffrey playing pool?
Jeffrey's Jamaican and he plays pool. And he like gives like sage advice all the time. And he's like flashing money. But I'm like, yo, like Jeffrey the butler in the original Fresh Prince, he was the butler. This guy doesn't do anything. I haven't seen him pick up a dish. I haven't seen him wash anything. I don't know. I like how it's shot. I like the acting. I'm just very concerned about where this show is going.
Yeah, I'll see when I dive into it. I have too much like reality TV going on right now.
I can't do that.
To try to catch up on everything else.
How do you all watch all this reality TV?
It's so good. It's so good.
No, it's not.
You know, outside of like the Jocelyn's Cabaret show, where the chick continuously shoots for double leg takedowns now.
Yo, she's in the wrong line of work.
Yo, she hits the monkey crawl, gets into position, and straight goes Khabib on other strippers. You shared the clip. Yeah. I didn't know there was a part 2.
Yeah, there's 2 parts of that.
Part 2 is better than part 1.
Like, she took her down twice, and it's like, first of all, why don't y'all put on your clothes before y'all fight? Right?
That's a good question.
It's like, hey, we're going to fight. And she's like,
half naked. Yep.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
Topless, bottomless.
And then Shawty's like, she goes into the monkey crawl, and I'm like, and the other girl's like, what are you, like, she looks at her like, what are you doing? And then the next thing you know, she's on her back.
Part 2. You've seen her do this already.
Yeah, she already got you down from double underhooks.
Yeah.
And then the thing she does is she slams them, and then she locks her arms underneath.
She does.
And she has them in control, and she's like, I can hurt you, but I can't. Yeah. Then she's like, praise God, get the demon out you. I'm like, what is wrong with this woman?
Yo, that's straight Khabib talking to Conor while he's like pummeling him on the floor style.
Listen,
she has training.
Do you have Zeus?
I do. Why? I told you I've subscribed to Zeus twice. It's like $4.99 a month, and I binge the new Chance at Love show or whatever. God. There's 2 seasons of it. It's the worst television I've seen in my life, and I love reality TV. It's the worst reality show ever, and it's like Flavor of Love. 10 times worse.
That's bad.
It's disgusting television. But I was like, I gotta watch. So I paid for Zeus twice to watch that. And like Jocelyn's Cabaret is on there or whatever. But I never got into it. There's people who like it. But obviously they have mixed martial artists.
Right.
Pretending to be strippers.
And it's shot in Vegas.
This latest season is. The original was Miami.
So, old girl, take your ass to the UFC Apex.
Real quick.
And I know it was funny because somebody
Contender
was like,
series.
Somebody said, it was like, you really think she's going to get paid more in the UFC than she does stripping? And I was like, damn it, you're right. I was like, well, I guess you keep stripping.
We solved the problem.
We solved the mystery. I get it. She was going to be a UFC fighter.
20 years of jiu-jitsu training.
They gave her a 10 and 10.
She
was like, I'm going to hit this pole because y'all playing games. I'll beat up these women to take their money, but y'all playing games.
Yo, her technique was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I wouldn't fight her.
No, straight side control. It was easy.
It ain't even raining down punches. She tough.
No. This is like, people are like, yo, you know how hard it is to do no-gi jiu-jitsu? This was 10 times harder.
Yo, this is no clothes jiu-jitsu.
No clothes jiu-jitsu. They're like butt naked doing it. And she's still managing to stay in control.
I showed my wife. I was like, hey, you should check this out. And, I didn't tell her anything. I said, you should check this out. She's like, what do you have me watching? Because all she sees is naked women, right? And they're talking, and the other girl's like, get the demon out you. And she takes her down. My wife looks at me, and she's like, is she a UFC fighter? I was like, no. And she was like, why? She was like, because she watches reality TV in the background. She was like, I can't watch this.
No.
You're like, this is
Y'all
terrible.
too classy for that.
We watch a lot of, she watched a lot of reality TV, but that, she was just like
You got to have top ramen and 3 Kool-Aid packets in your cupboard to watch this. Not even 4. Not even enough to make 2 full pictures. You got to have an odd number of Kool-Aid packets in your cupboard to watch this type of reality TV.
Yeah, you got to have spaghetti with ketchup.
Oh.
That's the kind of reality TV that is.
Thick noodles.
Or a syrup sandwich.
You did syrup sandwiches?
I did it once.
Nah, I did. I was the king of the cinnamon and the sugar.
I did.
Just on one piece of bread. Not even a sandwich. Just one piece of bread so it toasted into it.
We did, when we were broke, my grandma was like, all right, we don't have spaghetti sauce, so it's spaghetti and butter. And I was like, this is high cholesterol in a bowl.
My daughter does that to this day.
That's disgusting.
My daughter doesn't like spaghetti sauce. She'll eat it if I make her. But she always makes me keep like an extra thing of the noodles to the side. She'll heat it up the next day with just butter and eat it. And she loves it.
That's gross.
Again, yeah, I blame myself for this. When she was like little, I was in college. I had no money.
Yeah.
So she drank Kool-Aid out of her sippy cup every day to the point where it stained the top of the sippy cup. Like the plastic, it was stained red. So that's all she grew up on was that. And then we'd make her top ramen and we'd put it like in the high chair and she'd eat it with her hands. So to this day, she just has a hood palate.
Wow. We just went all over the place just now. Incredible.
It is. We took a tour de France of ratchetness just now. Shout out to the girl who has amazing jiu-jitsu, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eagle FC. Eagle FC, give her a call.
Yeah, or she should be on Tough Enough at least.
Something. Her name has to be like Alizé Nurmagomedov. That got to be her stripper name. So just got to combine both worlds right there.
Coming to the poll. She can take it all for singles or take you down for $1. Here's Alizé Nurmagomedov.
Yo, what I just picture Bruce Buffer doing? It's time, just in the middle of cheetahs.
Oh my God.
Or Spearmint Rhino.
Yeah, the Rhino.
Yeah. Oh my God. And she just comes out like Anderson Silva and she does the slow crawl onto the stripper stage.
Yep.
Oh.
And she comes into, there's some hoes in this house.
Yo, her walkout song gotta be the best.
Who does a post-fight interview? All right, we've done too much with this.
Oh my God, we've gone off the rails. We have real UFC to talk about here. Let's hit the break. Too much ratchetness. We're gonna hit the break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna dive right into UFC 271. We're gonna recap that card, and then we're gonna have a guest to preview this weekend's card. Jamahal Hill, who's amazing in light heavyweight division. He's going to join us. We're going to talk about that and wrap it up with boxing. Don't go anywhere. Be right back after this. All right, everyone. Ratchetness aside, we are back. Time to talk real MMA. Some stand-up. No takedowns. We had UFC 271 this past weekend, right before the Super Bowl. So it was kind of a good double whammy for combat sports fans. We had people being punched in the face, and then we saw one hell of a game on Sunday. This main card, the undercard, it was cool. I'd say the highlight of undercard or the low light. We had Roxanne Modafferi versus Casey O'Neill. Close fight. A lot of people thought Roxanne won it. It's her. She let it be known. She was retiring after this fight. I kind of wanted to see her win.
I didn't think she had any. Didn't she won that fight at all.
No, she got taken down in 2 rounds out of 3.
Yeah, I didn't. Whatever judge gave her 29-28 was bugging. The judge was bad, and Bisping called him out twice.
Yeah, he did.
But Roxanne Modafferi, 39 years old, she had a nice run. The game has clearly evolved. I was more concerned that Casey O'Neill is an up and comer.
Yeah.
Right. And she looks like somebody before the Modafferi fight. He was like, oh, maybe she could be top 5. She got hit a lot by Modafferi.
Yeah, she I don't want to say she struggled.
She had a hard time.
But she showed that there's some flaws there when Modafferi is not known necessarily for her striking like that.
Right.
So for her to be able to piece you up, get through your guard so easy, and you then having to take her down
Right.
to secure rounds. That's like, that's I don't want to call it act of desperation, but you knew like, yo, I'm probably not going to be able to win these scorecards standing on the feet.
Which is not good. Shout out to Casey O'Neill also, though, for a post-fight interview where she would just went full heel.
Super heel. Like, you want to boo me?
Yeah. You want to boo me? You want to boo me?
She did what Cody Rhodes should have done a long time ago.
We'll
But that's
talk
for a
about that
different
next
show.
Yes. But that's like embrace it, right? When you're the heel, just whatever. You beat Roxanne Modafferi, they don't like it. Too bad.
Cool. Then boo me.
Yep.
Then we have Andre Arlovski.
Hey, sooner or later, they're gonna have to give him an opponent, right? That can beat him.
I mean, this was not an easy layup.
They aren't, but look, Andre Arlovski, look at all the champions in the UFC that have happened since Arlovski. Brock Lesnar, he's wrestling, right?
What was that, UFC 100?
Well, that's when Brock beat Frank Mir, right? When Brock destroyed Frank Mir. But before that, he beat Randy Couture. Andre Arlovski beat Tim Sylvia.
Yeah.
Andre Arlovski's been fighting for a very long time. And now he's won 5 or 6 fights in a row. And now it's like they keep giving him heavyweights that nobody's ever heard of, right? You keep seeing it's like every time Andre Arlovski fights, it was like, here's a heavyweight that's an up-and-comer, and then Arlovski's like, nope. And it's weird because he's not a gatekeeper, because he's not even close to a title shot. But he's a guy that's like, you want to be in the top 15?
Yeah.
You got to beat me. And they can't beat him. They can't beat old Arlovski.
He might be top 10 now.
At this point, I think we said it last week. Look, man, Dana, just sign Fedor and give us Arlovski Fedor too.
That's all we need.
Just do it.
Come on.
Headline a fight night, man. Just
and that does numbers.
Yeah, or put it on pay-per-view, right? Or have it the closing fight on the prelim for the July show.
If you put that as the co-main or even third fight of night behind John and Stipe for the interim belt,
I'm here for it.
You do stupid numbers.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be a 5-round fight because these two are too old for all this. They don't want to do that.
Nope.
Give it to me.
3-round with John and Stipe, you can sell whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And then, let's see, main card, Bobby Green.
Hey, man, I can't remember my picks from last week. I can't remember if I
didn't pick Bobby Green.
I don't think I picked Bobby Green.
No. I haven't picked Bobby Green in like 6 fights.
But as I'm watching this fight, I was like, why didn't I pick Bobby Green? Because I'm watching him, and I'm like, yo, his striking has not looked this sharp in a long time.
Ever.
It's looked good in spots.
Yeah.
But this was a clinic.
The fluidity, the confidence.
This was an absolute clinic. And I'm like, well, Bobby Green is a guy now, it's like he's fringe top 15.
Yep.
And if the lightweight division wasn't so stacked, he'd probably be in the top 15. He'd probably have beaten a few of those guys. But now it's like, hey, man, you got to give this guy a fight. Bobby Green can fight.
Yeah. His record's not horrible.
No.
29-12, 29-12-1. That's better than Jorge Masvidal. Better than Cowboy. Better than Diaz.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we've seen other people turn it on with records like this and then just go on a crazy run.
Yeah, it's true.
His next fight, I got to hit up the UFC. I want to request Bobby Green to be our guest before his next fight. And I'm going to look him in the face and be like, yo, I apologize. I picked you to lose like 6 times straight. Like, you're crushing it. So, no, that was a good fight. Alexander Hernandez lost in the next one to Moicano by submission.
I know I picked Hernandez like an idiot.
Yeah.
And as soon as the fight started, I was like, oh, if Moicano gets him down, it's over. And I was like, oh, there it is. There it is.
I mean, it took 2 rounds to do it.
Yeah, but he clocked him, took it back, rear naked choke. Hernandez had nothing to do. And this is a guy who Hernandez kind of blew onto the scene. He was one of those guys who were like, oh, he might be a contender. And they just knocked him off quick. And Moicano is a guy that a lot of people forgot. High-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. Looked great. And another lightweight. Lightweight division is loaded.
Crazy.
Absolutely loaded.
And then we have co-main event, Jared Cannonier, not co-main, but third fight of the night, Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson. I thought we were going to restart the streak.
Yeah, I thought so too.
During the first round, I was like, man, Derek Brunson looks good. He looks loose. Cannonier is just trying to pick his shots. He can't really find a good place to come in. Brunson at one point had Cannonier in a little trouble in the first.
Yep, at the end of the first.
At the end of the first. Then we go into the second, and it only takes 1 punch with Cannonier. You can't make a mistake.
But it wasn't even that. It's like Brunson spent so much energy going for takedowns, and he was like shooting from way outside.
Yeah.
And he was working hard to get those takedowns. And then it was like in the second round, he had a full energy bar. Then he had no energy bar. And it was like all over his face, too. He was like, uh-oh. And Cannonier was like, uh-oh.
What?
I'm coming for you. And Brunson, he was done.
Yep.
Like, he blew his load, and it was like he had nothing left. And Cannonier took advantage of it. And those elbows from the top position in soccer, they were just brutal.
Oh, insane.
So now it's like, yeah, Cannonier immediately goes to Dana. I get the next title shot, and Dana's like, all right. And
who else? Yeah, sure.
And it's like,
guess.
It's weird because we're going to talk about the main event in a few, but it's like the guy who just lost in the main event beat him handily.
Yep.
And now he's going to get a title shot? Okay. But they have nobody in the middleweight division. You know who needs to come up? And we'll talk to this in more detail. Kamaev.
Yep.
Leave welterweight alone.
I like him at welterweight as well.
I do too. But leave welterweight alone because the path to a title shot is very quick in middleweight.
That is true. But I would argue it's easier to do the lighter weight first. If in your mind you think you'd be a 2-division champion and he's competed at both, you go for the lighter weight first and then blow up.
It might take him a little longer at welterweight. At middleweight, I think he wins like 2 fights.
I think they're fast tracking him whichever weight class.
That's probably true. But
because I mean, it's not like at welterweight it's any different than middleweight. The champion Usman is run through the top 5 twice.
Yeah, I guess
after Leon Edwards, it's twice through.
Yeah, I mean, but Adesanya is completely run out of opponents.
I mean, yeah, it's just like this.
Whatever it is, Kamaev is that one guy.
Cannonier is like his Leon Edwards.
Not even that. We'll get to that in a second. But Kamaev is that one guy I'm looking at. He's the only guy I can see that can beat Adesanya in middleweight.
Yep.
Because you can't strike with him. And Cannonier is a full-blown striker. And I was like, yeah, you beat Derek Brunson, but Adesanya wiped him out in the first round.
Yep.
So there's that.
Yeah, at least Cannonier, I don't think he's going to be calculated against Adesanya.
That'll get him knocked out.
Yeah, I love it.
So there's that.
That's what I root for. Co-main event, Derek Lewis fighting at home in front of the Houston fans versus Tai Tuivasa.
Did I pick Tai? I'm pretty sure I picked Tai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked Derek Brunson.
I know. Derek Lewis.
Or excuse me, Derek Lewis.
But you know what I did? The day of the fight, I was like, he's in Houston. I'm going to pick Derek Lewis. And I tweeted that. And I was like, I'm an idiot.
All bet.
But then in the first round, like, first of all, big meaty man slapping meat, right?
Yeah.
And they took about a minute to get into it, but when they started swinging them things, it was like they were hitting each other. It sounded like lunchboxes slamming on Cadillac doors. I was like, God damn. There was a spot where Derek Lewis had tied down and started hitting him, and I was like, any other person, the fight would be over. But Tai Tuivasa is such a maniac. He didn't even cover his face. He was like, I'm just gonna get up.
He ate 4 of them things.
Yeah, just slamming Cadillac doors. Yo, Derek Lewis, it came out to Fat Pat. Tai Tuivasa came out to Cyndi Lauper. I was like, this is incredible. And this fight was like, this was what we wanted out of Ngannou and Derek Lewis.
Yep.
We wanted just 2 guys just throwing ham sandwiches at each other. And Tuivasa survives the first round. And in my head, I was like, Tuivasa's probably going to win this fight. But I don't know. Like, they're just letting the hands go.
Because we know Derek gasses more than anything. Yeah.
But it looked like Derek was kind of conserving energy. But then that second round happens, and Tuivasa hits one with a short elbow and makes him face plant.
Tai Tuivasa, for a guy that we just think like he just swinging and banging, take Derek Lewis's phrase. Him and his corner are very smart. So he comes into this fight, and if you watch the Daniel Cormier fight versus Derek Lewis, in this fight is nearly identical.
Yep.
It's you keep your head waist level, and you put him against the cage. When you pick it up, you can dirty box on the inside because he can't load up. But as soon as you get some space, your head has to be waist level, which is why he ate some of those uppercuts.
Yep.
And it's like you can eat those as long as you're not at a distance and he's winding up. That's where like wrestlers and stuff mess up. They shoot from a distance. Derek winds up, hits him with an uppercut, it's over. But when you have his back to the cage and he can't wind up, you can eat a lot of these shots because he can't put as much behind it. He throws from the legs. Ngannou winds up, throws all upper body. It's all like hip, core, taking your face off from wherever. Derek Lewis isn't that. So Tai Tuivasa was like, cool, we're going to slug it. But every time Derek Lewis's back was against the octagon, every single time. And he was like, I can eat your power here. And then he caught Derek Lewis because Derek Lewis has no defense in space against the crate. There's no defense.
Nah.
Offense is his defense. So he was like, I'm going to hit you too, and you're not going to take it in close quarters. And Cormier showed that. Cormier was able to survive the power, tire him out in those close quarters, swinging with him, and then take him down. Tai Tuivasa didn't have to take him down.
So now Derek Lewis was ranked 3.
Yep.
Tuivasa is now ranked 3.
Yeah. Derek Lewis probably slide back to 6. I didn't check the rankings. I know they came out.
I know I just slid Derek down one spot because he knocked out Curtis Blades. Like, he knocked out everybody else beneath him. The only other person he lost to was Cyril Gane. Now you put Tuivasa in this spot, and it's like you look at the heavyweight division, and you're like, all right, Ngannou's king. And it looks
injured.
like, yeah, and it looks like Stipe and John, where does Ty fit in this picture now?
Don't face Cyril Gane.
That's probably what's going to happen.
It's not a good stylistic match.
No, it's not. It's not.
At all.
But at least, like, Tuivasa, he's one of those guys you look at me like, you shouldn't be here. And when those two fight, like, when Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa fought, you looked at them and they looked like dads fighting, right?
Yeah.
Like, grown men, like, I got too many things to do to hit this gym, but I got man strength. Cyril Gane and Francis Ngannou, like, all I do is hit the gym. That's how those two look. When that fight happens, I mean, it's not outside the realm that Tuivasa could win. I don't think he will, but I think it's a good fight.
No, I think the smartest move for him would probably be to face whoever's 6 or 7. So say like right under Derek Lewis, right? You face them because you think in your mind, Cyril Gane just had a title shot. They're not going to give him another one that fast. So if I face the next person and say John Jones or Stipe wins the interim title, and then cool, for any reason, Francis Ngannou contract or his knee injury is not fully healed, by the end of next year, I could be fighting for a title. Because they're not going to pass me, who has a highlight reel knockout, and fight someone with a better style, who stand and bang and possibly get another knockout. Cyril Gane's decision isn't going to jump me.
So beneath Ty is Curtis Blades. That's 4.
Yeah, I'd fight Curtis.
That doesn't get you a title shot, though.
Knocking out Curtis does, because Cyril Gane just is going to point someone to death.
Yeah, but Curtis is going to take you down.
No, we thought the same, but he got knocked out by Derek Lewis shooting for a takedown.
Yeah, I don't
got
know.
knocked out by Ngannou twice shooting for a takedown.
I don't know. It's a risky fight. I don't know.
Take that over Cyril Gane.
Let's talk about this main event.
Main event, Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker.
What I tell you was going to happen?
It's going to be safe.
What happened?
It's going to be ugly. He was safe. It was ugly.
He lost. Like,
yeah.
he knew not to rush in.
But a lot of people, and this is where Israel Adesanya now is he's in that weird place where if someone keeps it close, people feel like they win.
Yeah.
Their expectations are so low for the opponents and so high for the champion. If you don't knock them out, if they're somewhat competitive, people's eyes and brains are now trained to be like, nope, give them that round.
Yeah.
I gave Whittaker 1 round.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, look, Adesanya won that fight, hands down.
yeah. I think
Whittaker
he took the first 3 rounds and dropped Whittaker at the end of the first. That was almost over.
Yeah. Whittaker, I'd say, he's going to have to fight a cautious fight because if he runs in, he's going to get knocked out.
Yep.
And he knew that. You could see it on his face. His leg was compromised. Leg kicks were doing him in. Whittaker had no answers. Now, here's the thing. You can argue that Whittaker, because ESPN did that Mount Rushmore,
Yeah.
he could be on that Mount Rushmore in middleweights.
Yeah, when I voted on that, it was tough.
But he could. He's not too far away.
Good.
But that means Whittaker, the distance between Whittaker and the rest of the division, that gap is wide.
Yeah.
Because he beat Darren Till, he beat Jared Cannonier, and he beat them all handily. He dominated Kelvin Gastelum, and he was like, I can't beat this guy. It's like the boss in
Who does Bodechina fight next?
I don't know.
He should probably.
He lost to Vittori at light heavyweight when
yeah.
neither of them decided they was just going to eat everything and fight.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you look at Whittaker, as good as he is, he's not better than Israel Adesanya. So that leaves him in a spot where forever gatekeeper. Or you drop that back down to welterweight.
Drop down instead of going up.
Yeah. No, he can't go up. He's too small.
Okay.
He fought at welterweight.
Yeah,
got knocked
yeah.
out by Wonder Boy. But I feel like if he goes back down, he has a better chance at getting a title shot. He's done. There's people like, oh, Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker 3. Why? There's no point in it.
He's one of the guys that Kamayev has to fight before he gets to Stylebender.
Yeah. he would be that guy. But
Yeah.
but then you look at it as like, they're treating me like food, like, because that's what they're doing to you. But if you go to welterweight, they would put you somewhere in a top 5 opponent,
Yeah.
and you have a better chance.
You could be 2 fights away from a title shot.
In the middleweight division, Adesanya has created so much distance. The other thing I want to discuss is I've listened to people like, he's not that good. And I'm like, they're like, he's a points fighter. I'm like, no, he's not. He's Floyd Mayweather. And people's like, what do you mean? I was like, if you attack him, you're going to get hurt. If you allow him to do what he does, he's just going to beat you by points. He doesn't need to take risks. He's a counter striker by nature. He doesn't make it dirty. He doesn't make it ugly. Now that he's figured out that leg kicks are a big problem for all of his opponents, he'll compromise your front leg, and he'll make sure that you think twice about coming in. If you're not big as Jan Blachowicz, you're not going to do anything to him. You're all going to stay on the outside. And I listen to people say he's not that good. No, we are witnessing one of the greatest runs in a single weight class in UFC history. He's done this in 4 years.
Yeah.
He's the champ.
He fought 6 times in like his first year, which was
insane. He's cleaned out the division. It took Anderson Silva like 6 years to clear out the division. And, look, people that comparing them to, no, stop. Anderson Silva was like another football league away right now.
Yeah.
Because Anderson Silva showed up, beat Chris Lieben, mauled him, Rich Franklin twice, Dan Henderson. And then it was just, he started playing around. He goes, Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin. Like, he just beat up people. Now, on one hand, you look at Anderson Silva's record, and you was like, well, has he beaten somebody as good as Robert Whittaker?
That's apples and oranges.
It's a different era.
At the time,
yeah,
he beat the number 1 through 4, number 2 at a higher weight class.
He beat everybody.
Then, Chael Sonnen wasn't
Chael
great,
Sonnen is the tough one, right? Because what happened? Chael Sonnen mugged him for 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva threw up a triangle, beat him. They had the rematch. Anderson Silva destroyed him.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, that's the outlier. Now, when people talk about
Chael was on everything.
Yes.
Juice to the gills.
Now, when people talk about Israel Adesanya not being Anderson Silva, I'm like, well, here's the tricky thing. Because people was like, well, Anderson Silva destroyed everybody. He didn't.
No.
He fought Talis Leites. He fought Patrick Cote. They were terrible fights. Why? Because they didn't come at him. Mm-hmm. There were guys that would just be like, I'm cool. I'm here to get a check.
People's goal is to survive.
Right. And that's where we're at with Israel Adesanya. They go into the fight, and there was a moment where Robert Whittaker charged, and then Adesanya jabbed him. And you saw Whittaker step back and was like, I don't know what I'm doing. He was like, what was I thinking? I'm going to stay back here and just hope things happen.
Yep.
And if you can't wrestle, you can't beat him, which was the same thing with Anderson Silva. The only reason Chris Weidman beat him is it was a threat to wrestle.
Yep.
Kelvin Gastelum gave Israel Adesanya a hard time because it was a threat to wrestle. Nobody wrestles against him now. Marvin Vettori shut him down. He tried, but...
And, 4 out of 10 takedowns isn't bad, and that's why people thought, we can give him rounds. But Izzy was popping right back up. It wasn't Jan Blachowicz, where Jan could hold him down.
Exactly.
Izzy was up in 30 seconds each time. And to me, and this is my biggest thing in UFC, and the change in scoring and all this stuff needs to happen, just getting someone on the ground isn't a win for me.
No, you have to do something.
You have to do something. To the point, if you get someone on the ground and they're a jiu-jitsu practitioner, and they throw up 7 subs and you're fighting for your life, even though you landed the takedown, I'm giving it to the other dude.
Yes.
If he's mauling you with elbows, slicing you open, and you're just sitting in half guard, oh my God, don't hit me with elbows, I'm giving it to the other guy.
Yeah.
Taking someone to the ground and then popping back up, that doesn't do anything for me.
No, Whittaker tried everything he could to win this fight without getting himself fucked up.
Yep.
And he lost. And now Adesanya's in a spot where he's cleaned out this division in 4 years. And the only person left, going back to Chimaev, there's nobody left. You look at that division right now. I'm going to pull this up. You look at this middleweight division.
How good would him versus Yuri be, though, if he decided to go up?
I know.
Because Yuri's going to kill.
Yeah, Yuri's huge. But you look at the middleweight division. Robert Whittaker, Jared Cannonier, Marvin Vettori, Derek Brunson, Sean Strickland. He's like the next guy.
Wow.
He watches Sean Strickland.
I like that style fight, though.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Paulo Costa, you already beat him.
Yep.
Jack Hermanson, Darren Till, Uriah Hall, Kelvin Gastelum, Brad Tavares. What are we doing here?
Chimaev can get the shot tomorrow. I don't even, on paper, to me, Chimaev is better than all of those
there is
contenders.
nobody here that's going to give Adesanya a problem. None of these guys. There's going to be people. They're like, what about the Sean Strickland fight? No,
It's a good fight.
it's a good fight, but
Fun.
Sean Strickland is smart. He's not smart enough. He's dumb enough to not care and come
Yep.
at him. Come at me, bro. And he gets pieced up.
Yep.
If Adesanya stays in this weight class and doesn't get, I should go up to light heavyweight again, which at some point he's going to get bored and want to do that again.
Yeah.
But if he stays here, he breaks Anderson Silva's record as the division stands right now. Unless Chimaev
Comes up.
and I need to see Chimaev beat one or two people.
Maybe a top 10 opponent, which he hasn't done yet.
I need to see Chimaev fight. I'll give you two people. Robert Whittaker, of course.
In this division?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Robert Whittaker, of course. And give me Darren Hill or Marvin Vettori. I want to see what he does with a wrestler like Vettori. I just want to
Vittori
see
would
what
be
happens.
good.
And then I want to see him fight Whittaker. 2 fights, you get a title shot.
Okay.
But you got to have 2 fights. I don't want to see you just immediately get a title shot.
Well, in the meantime, that gives Izzy a chance to go against 2 opponents, which I think he has.
Yeah, he'll have Cannon there, and he'll
And
probably have Strickland if Strickland wins another fight.
Yeah.
Surely enough to put Strickland in there.
Strickland might wait. I think Izzy's doing a quick turnaround.
He might, but I don't think Strickland's going to wait that long because Strickland's ranked 5. And with Vettori ahead of you, you might end up fighting Vettori.
Maybe.
So it won't be Whittaker, right?
No.
So it's like, if you're Strickland, you got to take another fight. Plus, they're hungry; they need to eat, they need money, so you got to take another fight. But that's it. And in the interim, Chimaev comes in and is like, I'm gonna fight Darren Till, and the next fight I'll fight Robert Whittaker. Whoever, if Whittaker needs a fight, I got him. And now you have a title fight. And now that's the one person. And the problem with this fight in general is that we've seen a lot from Chimaev, but we haven't seen him against league competition yet.
Nope.
So give me 2 fights, and then we got to fight.
Same thing at welterweight, though.
Yeah, but
Gotta fight someone who's top 10.
whoever it is, otherwise Izzy's going to run off with this division. He's going to break all the records. He's going to be the greatest middleweight of all time because nobody else can beat him.
The problem is now you're paying him a lot to fight people who aren't very good. That's the biggest problem. Not because, to me, they're still not paying him his worth necessarily, but what's worth, right? It's whatever someone's willing to give you. But they're paying him a good amount. Like this new deal, the numbers came out, 1.5 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Before pay-per-view points. That's what champions should be making.
That's like even on the low end.
Yeah, but I mean, if their pay-per-views do pretty well. So that's Terrence Crawford top rank level at the end of the day with pay-per-view points. That's probably what 5-6 mil most boxers get, unless you're Errol Spence or someone on top of that. There's Devin Haney numbers. Like
it's crazy.
You can cash out 1.5 guaranteed. You're probably cashing out at 5 mil.
Right.
If you do 600,000 pay-per-views.
Right.
Which most UFC cards do in their sleep because their fans are just conditioned to buy pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's good. I think John Jones would fight for that. Like, this is all John's wanted.
Yeah, I mean,
Ngannou just wants to fight for more than 600,000 guaranteed. Because, granted, that's not how much he takes home. Right. But even with pay-per-view points, you're like, give me another mil guaranteed. So I think Izzy set that next bar. Should be higher, but Izzy set a good bar now.
It's tough because he sets the bar. He's got a new contract. He says he hopes it trickles down. But it doesn't trickle down if you don't force it to trickle down. Because Dana looks at the situation like, I paid you. You're the champ.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay these other guys that money. Why would I do that?
Even the other champs.
Yeah, like the other champs, fuck them. I'm not going to pay them this money. Like Adesanya's a draw.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens if these pay-per-view numbers come out, whatever. But he's a draw. People want to see him fight. He goes viral. People want to see Adesanya fight. I can't say the same for everybody else.
Usman's next deal probably has to look identical.
I mean, but he has to fight for it, right?
Yes.
And now it's like
his management will. What he has
Ali.
Yeah, Ali's not gonna just sit back and
no,
make it up.
but you have to fight for that kind of deal. And Usman's in that same spot where it's like, all right, I'm gonna fight Leon Edwards. I'll probably bust his ass, and then it's like, well, pay me. The problem on both sides of this is like what you just said. Then it's like, well, why? Because who are you fighting? Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that ain't my fault. It's your fault. Find me some opponents. Pay me so I don't have to worry about this kind of stuff.
I mistakenly already cleared out everybody.
Yeah, whoops, my bad. I beat everybody. You slow play me to the top. I beat everybody on the way up. Ain't nobody left.
No, he made me beat Covington twice.
Yeah, now both of these bums are fighting in a main event 5-round fight, and I beat them both.
Yeah.
I've knocked both of them out.
Yeah.
I fought both of them. Wait, like if you look at it, Usman beat both of them twice. knock
in their main
each of them
events.
out once, and decision both of them once, and they're in a main event, you better pay me.
Yeah. I mean, he got to get the same deal. Like,
Yo, he's arguably the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world right now.
You got to pay what you owe. Like, yo, listen, those best matchups are behind me, but I did that on my old deal. That's not my fault. Now you got to pay me a lot to fight people way less.
Yeah, like that's not my fault.
Nope.
I beat all your cash cows.
Yep.
Send them home.
Now the cash cows are fighting cash cows for nothing.
Yeah, like what is
no
this?
one could beat me.
Like, oh, what are they gonna get? Another shot at me? Like that doesn't make any sense. You don't deserve nothing.
Nah, it's going to be weird. So we'll see how that plays out. We're actually gonna hit our break. We're gonna come back in with Jamahal Hill, who fights this weekend. We'll talk boxing on our next show or early next week. So much is going on, but nothing's final. So boxing can take the back seat until we see how Amir Khan and everything plays out. So all MMA show today. Very fun. You guys don't go anywhere. Be right back talking more UFC with Jamahal Hill. All right, everyone. Welcome back. We promised more UFC. Here it is. We have one half of the main event this weekend. Jamahal Hill joining us. He's taking on Johnny Walker in the main event. Man, Jamal, thank you for taking time out during fight week. We know it's always tough. Big fight for you. But it feels like every fight you're in is a big fight because you make it feel that way. Like, I remember watching you on Contender Series, and you came out like you're already a superstar. You were talking about, like, yo, I've trained my whole life to fight John Jones. I know I'm going to be at the top of this division. Where does that confidence come from? And you've had it all along. Are you shocked to be in these spots, or are you like, yo, it's about time?
No, I'm not shocked. It's just something that I've just been preparing for, getting ready for. It's just the work that I put in, the grind, and then seeing my skills as opposed to everybody else's, and then seeing how everybody else views things and stuff like that. And I just feel that I'm unique and different.
Yeah, when you say unique and different, right? You're fighting Johnny Walker, who was a guy that at one time people was like, that's the future of the light heavyweight division. Now he's kind of hit a rough patch, and you get him in the main event. And skill for skill, I think you guys are complementing each other very well in what I expect to be just a straight up banger. In terms of a banger, do you look forward to guys like Johnny Walker, who you know there ain't gonna be no plan? We about to throw some hands in here.
Yeah, I like the fact that he comes out to bang. But as far as the similarities between what are the similarities?
I'm saying there's no similarities because in the right now he's 1 and 3?
3 in his
last 4.
Yeah,
and you've been on the up and up. But it's a fight where you're taking a guy. There's no similarity here. The point I'm making is it's a guy that everybody thought was going to be the next big thing, and you've been coming up right behind him, just kind of sneaking up. It's like, all right, well, that's what's up. Keep talking about him. You still talking about him?
Yeah, I'm used to that. I'm used to that period. You know what I mean? We live in the era of the fads. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm a legit. And I feel like guys like certain guys are fads. You know what I mean? They come in, they have a hot start, they do some good things, they get a lot of hype behind them and stuff like that. And it's just because it's cool to support them and stuff like that. And I feel like Sean O'Malley is one of those guys. And whenever he comes up against a real legit, we're gonna see what it is. But yeah, bro.
What makes you so different than these guys? Or actually, does that put a chip on your shoulder? Because I know what makes you different. You're grinding, you're working from everything. You know, you're working your way up the ladder. They're not feeding you opponents, right? You have to prove yourself every fight. But does that put a chip on your shoulder? Do you want to knock these guys off who are fads? Do you want to go and steal their shine and be like, listen, I'm the real superstar?
I mean, I want to expose it. You know what I mean? I want to expose the real. You know what I mean? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to see what it is, you know? But does that make me feel some type of not really. You know what I mean? I'm just here to do me. You know what I mean? I was gonna have to do all of this regardless. This is all the things that I wanted. This just comes with what I asked for with getting into this life.
Do you feel like you're still kind of learning on the job? Because, you know, you were I think you were 5-0 in 2017. And then, you know, you've kind of come up pretty quick. Whereas, well, some guys, they feel like they're a complete package, right? They feel like, oh, it's just a matter of time before I get mine. But do you feel like you're still learning lessons in the octagon when you fight?
You can feel like he a complete package, but I guarantee you in the gym he's improving on something. There's something. All right, I need to work on this. I need to get better at this. I need to get better at this. I need to get better at this. So that's always the key. That's always the goal. I'm always doing that. You know what I mean? So for me, that's how I kind of look at that question.
When you're in the gym, when you're pushing through these long days, when you're getting better, what motivates you then? Because you're not motivated necessarily by knocking off these people who get more hype or anything else. What motivates you to continue to
I
grind, to
didn't say I
continue to go
wasn't
out there?
motivated by that. I just said that's not the whole thing I'm behind. Of course, I want the dudes that I'm here to make money, bro.
Yeah.
I'm here. You see him? You see this? I got 6 of these. You know what I'm saying? And they not cheap. You know what I mean? So I'm here to get that bag. You know what I'm saying?
When fighter pay, everybody talks about fighter pay. I don't want to put you too much on the spot, but how do you feel about your compensation, especially heading into a fight like this? Like you're main eventing a fight night, a 5-round fight. Do you feel like you've been compensated properly? You think some things might need to be fixed when it comes to fighter pay?
I mean, yeah, of course things need to be fixed when it comes to fighter pay. Hands down, no way around it. When you look at the amount of money that the fighters are generating versus what they're taking home, then yeah, there's something that needs to be talked about and there's something that needs to be changed. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Like right now, for me, I'm in a good place in my life. I'm making good money. You know what I mean? I've worked some regular jobs. So I've made that barely just getting by money, you know what I mean, and things like that. But for right now, I'm good. But yeah, bro. I mean, I'd like to see a change.
You can always make more money. Nothing wrong with that. When you look at the light heavyweight division and how it stands right now, a lot of people say the division is thin. But honestly, that's because John Jones was in this division for so long. Now it's wide open again. When you look at all the other fighters, the guys in the top 10, do you look at that and be like, yo, I could beat all of them? Like, I'm going to and think that it's only a matter of time before you're in those main event challenging for the titles when you look around at the landscape.
I don't feel like I can beat them. I feel like I can dominate them. I feel like I can dominate this entire division. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm trying to do. Hell yeah! I can't wait to get in those man. I can't wait to get that pay-per-view check. You know what I mean? I'm looking to get that bag. I think this division has a lot of talent in it, and it does. But we need more stars. We need more people to step out to the forefront and show themselves and things like that. So
You got your son with you. It's an interesting. Some people leave the kids at home when it's time to go fight, and you brought your son with you. Does he watch your fights?
yeah,
How?
you right here. You watch my fights?
Yeah, and do all your kids watch the fights?
Yeah.
Some people are different in that. Some people are like, I don't want to bring my kids to see me fight. It's daddy's different when I'm in the cage, and then daddy's home and daddy's daddy. Why is it different for you?
Is that different? I'm just saying. I'm just saying when my all that. Is the fighting is a part of life. It's life. You know what I mean? It's what I do. You know what I mean? So for them to come and see it, I explained to them, like, we had to talk before I came. Like, your dad could get hurt. It's a possibility I could be knocked unconscious. I could have to go to the hospital. I could get split open, all of that. You know what I mean? I talked to them. I explained that to him. You know what I mean? And then I tell him the process that comes with that. And I leave it up to him. It's up to him. If he decides he wants to come, he can come. If he decides like maybe it's a little too much, you know what I mean, the emotion might be a little bit too much for him, then that's fine.
A question.
One thing about me as a parent, my kids are allowed to be who they want to be. I don't force nothing on my kids.
Being around environments, a lot of times people, just being there, kids especially fall in love with what their parents are doing or the environment, the lights. Like, I'm sure he's going to love fight night, right? The entrances, the atmosphere. What if 10, 12 years he comes up to you and be like, Dad, I want to be a fighter?
If he comes up to me 10, 12 years, I'd be like, bro, you waited too long. You waited too long. But yeah, I mean, if that's what he wanted to do, then I'm gonna support him. I mean, but I'm also gonna be real with him. I'm gonna see where he at. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see if he on that level, and if he's not, I'm gonna let him know.
So got a couple more for you. I mean, it's a 5-round fight, but is there any reason for us to think this fight goes the distance?
I mean, the time limit is there, so I mean, I guess you can think of it for that. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not trying to make it. I'm not trying to go the distance. I don't trust these judges.
There it is. That's the man. I listen to fighters talk often. I talk to a lot of fighters. Someone's like, yeah, if it goes the distance, it goes the distance. But this past weekend, we saw some goofy scorecards at UFC 271. You don't want no parts of that.
I don't want no smoke with the judges, bro. I don't want no smoke with the judges, bro.
So let's go. I mean, you're a confident man. You win this weekend. Do you go in there ready with a mindset of like, yo, I got to call this person out. I got to call that person out. What is your next steps? Or do you truly just live in the moment? Or do you have like this plan of where you want to be in a year, where you want to be in 2 years? Is this part of a master plan, or are you just going into this fight and be like, yo, this is what I want to do right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a master plan, but I take it as it comes. As of right now, I made those call outs and everything last fight to let people know that, I mean, to let everybody in the company know that, I call my shot and you send them to me, I'm gonna take care of it, but we had a contract negotiation in between that time. So I ain't trying to fight nobody that's making more money than me.
Listen, that's
I know you just talked about Sean O'Malley, but Sean has kind of said the same thing. He's like, if I got this contract, why am I gonna go out here and fight all these people making all this money when my contract's still the same? That's just good business, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did that already. I mean,
Right.
if we being real, if you go back and you look at the payouts from all the cards that I've been on, I've been fighting. This is my what?
six.
It's my fourth ranked opponent.
Yeah.
It's my fourth ranked opponent out of 6 UFC fights. You know what I mean? And then go look at what they were making. Look at what OSP made when I fought him. You know what I'm saying? It's not this. It wasn't the same. You know what I mean? So I felt like I might get jumped a little bit further. You know what I mean? For doing that, and I did, but at the same time, I feel like I didn't. So I'm gonna fight around the level of people that I feel like I should be fighting.
And then with that, when do you feel like, because a lot of the thing is like, yo, you got to fight because this is your livelihood. But is there a point where you go and say, this is my time to take a stand? Like I'm in the top 5. Yo, I can't fight for this. Like I just got to sit until it's time for me to make what I need to make.
That come down to how you manage your money, bro.
Yeah.
That come down to how you manage your money, bro.
I guess,
mean, can you go without working?
well, that's the problem, right? Because everybody's got to fight. I think that's a complicated thing. Conor McGregor said Eddie Alvarez, the worst decision he made was not getting a new contract before he fought me, right?
Hell yeah.
And boxing is different. Boxing is a fight-by-fight basis. You negotiate heading into that fight. In your case, okay, you smash Johnny Walker, right? And they give you another fight, you smash him. And now, as the ranking committee, they put you in the top 5. They offer you a title fight, but it's on the same contract. What do you do?
I say no.
See, other cats won't do that. We need more people to do that. We need more people to say no, like pay me what I'm worth. If you want me to fight.
Everybody can do what they want to do. You know what I mean? You also got to understand, bro. Never mind. I said it. Everybody come from different places.
True.
So everybody's understanding and interpretation of their value is different. We'll say that.
I mean, that's fair.
That's absolutely fair.
That's spot on. And you know what you're fighting for, obviously. Got your son next to you, the family. And it's been great to watch your journey because a lot of people see and they see this person who's very confident in the octagon, who doesn't mind, speaking his mind after the fights, and they see this big personality. And it's great for us to get this other side of you. You're just a dad. You're someone fighting for your family. Someone putting food on the table.
You see what he been doing this whole time? You see what he been doing this whole time? They don't care about none of. They don't care about this shit. They truly don't. They just, what are we doing, Dad? Are we going it's all about if they having fun. It's not you're doing this, your dad is this. It's none of that, bro. It's shit, man. Dad, if I ain't having fun with Dad, man, fuck what he talking about.
Big facts.
Word up. You're like, yo, your dad's on TV. He's like, whatever.
He don't care. And, I just want to put it out here, man.
don't even tell nobody. I mean, I think some of his friends know, but they don't even tell nobody. Shit, I wish I was my dad. I mean, like they don't like this. They not. I take them to the shoe store. Like, bro, we about to go shopping. You know what I mean? Go, bro, grab whatever you want. Grab shoes, whatever. Grab whatever you want.
Yo, they don't care about none of that. They don't.
You just daddy.
Yeah.
You just daddy. So look, man. Look, before we let you know this, because you're on our show, we've had a 2-fighter losing streak at this point.
Yes.
Derek Brunson was on the show last week and he lost. So we're hoping that you snap it. But more importantly,
shit, y'all already told me this before I did the interview.
Hey, but what was our winning streak before that?
Oh, we were on a 6-fight winning streak.
We was on a 6-fight winning streak.
Tuivasa was on the show.
Yeah. So most importantly, it's Black History Month, and sue me because I'm rooting for everybody that's black. So regardless of you being we need cats like you to win and get this W because, we repping for the culture. I ain't going to lie about it. I ain't going to lie about it. I'm rooting for everybody that's black. So go get that bread, man. We want to have you back here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we look forward to it, man. Thanks for chopping it up with us. We appreciate it. Yeah, man. We love seeing all different sides of fighters, and this is great.
Hey, what's your son's name?
Marty.
Hey, tell people about your daddy.
Yeah.
Tell people about your daddy. Your dad's the man. Tell people about your pops.
Promote me, man. Damn. Promote y'all.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. That was Jamahal Hill. Fight Saturday at UFC Fight Night right here in Vegas. Main event. Man, that guy's been an animal lately. Yeah. So it's great to see this other side of him. So many people, we see the loud, just wildness and all this stuff. Man, it's great to just chop it up with fighters on something normal. So make sure you guys watch that, show support, help him get the bag, help him do numbers. Let's get this man a contract, a higher deal right here. This man's running through ranked opponents. No, that was our show today. We really appreciate all of you. Like I said before, we'll talk boxing later on in the week, either next show or the show after, to make sure we're caught up in everything there. Our show on Sunday is actually moving a day earlier. So you'll catch our next show Saturday morning because WWE has Elimination Chamber out. So you know what? It's always nice to sneak in pro wrestling shows. We're going to do a full preview of Elimination Chamber, talk Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, we might need to put it out Friday.
Might be Friday night.
Yeah, because Elimination Chamber was dumb early in the West Coast.
Oh, it is super early. All right, well, look at that. Friday. So almost back-to-back shows this week. Yeah. That's going to be fun for you guys. So we appreciate you. Look forward to that wrestling show coming next. In the meantime, follow us on social media at Corner Podcast _ on Twitter, at Corner Club for Life on Instagram. Check out our YouTube, The Corner Podcast. All of our shows, full video up on there so you guys can see us in our fitteds this week. Looking good here because we didn't get time to shave or anything. Even though the beard is still sharp.
Yeah,
you got that done like a week and a half ago. Still crisp.
I keep it tight, but shaving the hair is a little bit more work.
little bit different. Shout out to everyone in production. Producer Cole Bebe running around like a madman over here. Antoine's on the boards. Everybody else, I don't know. Jordan, everybody's back there. Brian's back there. Jordan back there. Everybody back there. Wait, is he? No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Jordan's running around too. Everybody here at Blue Wire Studios in the Wynn Resort in Las Vegas. We appreciate you. Stay safe. Stay Rona free. Let's have some fun at these fights. Tons of combat sports coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we appreciate you. Until next time, we're out.
Peace.